Thank you so much, Hannah, for having me on here. For everybody who's watching, I am so sorry I couldn't be there live. I really wanted to share my story of why the AO scan has really been such a benefit to my family. My daughter has some significant learning disability with reading. When she was just a little one and we were beginning to learn to read, it took over a year for her to be able to sound out CAT. And she was about 6 or 7 at the time. And then as soon as I stuck an S on the end, it was another 6 months before she could read the word again. It just didn't click. And no matter what we did, reading specialists, different curriculum, different whatever it was, the words just didn't compute for her. And so we have worked tirelessly for many years trying to teach her to read, and it just wasn't happening. If I gave her an audiobook, she could listen and she could really absorb it and come back and tell me all the information, but the reading just wasn't happening. And the reality is, even though we have a world with lots of tools to help with various disabilities, we still live in a world where reading is essential, where high school needs reading, college needs reading, the workplace needs reading, and it just wasn't happening for her. And so my daughter was 13, and this was 2 years ago when I first started playing with a scanner. I didn't really know what I was getting into. I knew that it had helped my mood when I played with it, and I really appreciated that. That's a story for another day. But I didn't know what else it could do, so I thought, well, I'm going to try it for a month. I'm going to use it on anybody and everybody, and I'm going to just do this big giant experiment. And 2 years later, I'm still using that scanner every single day, even more than I did when I was playing with it in that first month. And part of the reason is because of my daughter. We would sit right here. Sorry for the mess, but we would sit right here and do our reading lessons. And we would work on it and work on it, work on it. Well, when I got the scanner, I thought, well, why not? Let's just try this. And so I ran a voice scan on her. I had her listen to it. And she said that it just made her mind calm and it really helped her. So I thought, well, let's just try this while we do our reading lessons. And so, because, I'm really, really busy and I didn't want to wait 5 minutes for her to listen to tones before we did the reading lessons. So I thought, well, why not just do it at the same time? And all of a sudden, she started to read. All of a sudden, the lessons I was giving her were clicking. We weren't taking 3 times, 4 times as long as was expected in one lesson. We were clipping along and she was retaining it. And my daughter started to read. In fact, it was probably, I want to say maybe a month after doing this, that she woke up really grumpy one morning. And I was like, what is with you? And she was, just surly. And then I found out that she'd stayed up all night reading a chapter book. And I couldn't be mad because my daughter was reading a chapter book for the first time late into the night. And that meant she was enjoying it. That meant that reading was having a meaning to her beyond this hard work it had been. And so here she is now, 2 years later, and she still grabs the tones to help her. She's a freshman in high school and she's 15. And when she has a lot on her plate and she's tired, she'll turn on those tones to help her brain just engage and help her be able to do the work she needs to do. And sometimes she says, yeah, my eyes are really tired. So she'll grab those color glasses that are showing up on those reports. She'll run her voice scan. She'll put those tones in her ears, and then she'll grab the color glasses and she'll do her homework like that. And she says, it's almost like it just says, boom, your brain's not asleep anymore. And it's really been such a blessing to see my daughter be able to rise up to what I know she's capable of because she's got this fantastic tool. So there are so many stories. I could go on and on and on, but that one is so near and dear to me because I want my daughter to succeed. And thanks to her being able to listen to these tones every single day, as many times as she needs to, she is getting there. And I have no doubt that she's destined to do great things in her life. So I will talk to you later. If you have questions, feel free to reach out.